Hey there, this is Teacher Podcast episode 298, Past of Will. You read English, you understand English, you've been learning for years, but when it's time to speak, your mind just freezes and the words just won't come out. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. I've been exactly where you are. I'm Ola Mierniczak and this is the Teacher Podcast. I'm here to help you finally speak out loud the words, the ideas, the English that have been stuck in your head for too long. This isn't about perfect grammar or fancy vocabulary. This is about your voice, your words, your real English. Have you ever said something like, "You told me you will help," and it just didn't sound quite right? You're not alone. Today we're diving into one of the most common grammar traps English learners fall into, the past of will. It's sneaky, it shows up in everyday conversations, and most people get it wrong, even after years of learning English. In this episode, I'll show you exactly why this happens, what's missing from your practice, and how to finally get it right naturally, automatically, and confidently. Just before we get into grammar, listen. I know you have language apps installed on your phone. I know you know why you have them. You think, if I just expand my vocabulary and work a bit more on my grammar, I will feel ready and confident enough to start speaking English. Stop. This is madness. The more you grow your knowledge, the more overwhelmed you are. I know this sounds crazy, but I see this all the time. When people start to notice, for example, the difference between will, going to, present continuous, present simple for future, they start to speak much slower. They slow down because they start to overthink everything. You are overwhelmed with all the knowledge in your head. You have to let it go. How? There's one way. You need to automate the whole process. Speaking process, of course. You need to practice your grammar and your vocabulary in a well-structured conversation class. And I don't like the word class because a class or a lesson is a situation in which you are a learner. You sit and listen and learn, but I do it differently. I don't teach English. I organize space in which you can practice speaking. I listen to you, give you feedback, and plan and structure your next speaking session so that you can automate those same structures you got wrong. For example, talking about future, I give you materials, you watch things or listen to things, and then during the speaking session, you do the talking. On the 14th of July, Monday, 6:30 p.m. That's the day. This is the day of your first speaking session with me and 3 other people. 4 people in a group. You speak with a partner and then you change your partner throughout the whole 60-minute session. You speak for 50 minutes. I listen. You have all my attention. I make notes. I share them with you later and it works. And that's not it. 50 minutes once a week doesn't sound like enough of a practice. So I want you to stay in the loop. I mean, contact me and the group every day in a WhatsApp group. Every day you practice your speaking skill and every day I share my feedback. I fix your pronunciation, your grammar, your vocabulary. The whole program lasts 5 weeks. It's called Voice Loop. Join Voice Loop by completing a form at teacherola.com/voice. You will find the links below as well. And now, one more thing. If you're still here, if you listen to me now, if you understand what I'm saying, that means Voice Loop is for you. Your level is perfect. So join us at teacherola.com/voice. Now let's get to today's episode, past of will. You told me you will come. Let's talk about why that sounds off and how to fix it. Okay, let's talk about something that many English learners know in theory, but still get wrong in practice, especially in conversations, especially when you're trying to speak fluently and naturally, and especially when you're Polish, because I've heard this mistake again and again from students, clients, everywhere, even really advanced speakers. And that's because, of course, the influence of Polish grammar, which gets in the way here. So, this is this little sentence. You told me you will come, or I didn't know you will be here. Now, here's the thing. If you say this sentence to me, I get what you're trying to say. It's 100% understandable. But, and this is a big but, it's not correct. It sounds off. People feel it. Even if they don't analyze it, it's like saying, I go to the shop yesterday. It's understandable, but clearly wrong, and it can confuse your person you talk to. So what's going on? Let's rewind for a second. When we talk about the future, we use will. Easy. For instance, I will call you tomorrow. They will arrive at 5. You will love this movie. Simple, right? Future promises are expressed with will. But what if you're not standing in the present? What if you're telling a story about the past? Something someone said or thought back then. This is where many people get confused, because from your perspective, you're still thinking about the future. But grammatically, you're standing in the past. And in English, when you shift into the past, will becomes would. Let me say that again, because this is the whole point of this episode. In reported speech or past thoughts, never mind. If you speak about past, don't use will, because will becomes would. It's the past of will. Yes, weirdly enough, would is the form of will. Not because it looks like a regular verb, because it doesn't, but because that's how English deals with time shifts. It's a grammatical thing. Let's look at it in action. Now, she says, I will help you. Past. She said she would help me. Boom, that's it. She said, past, so will becomes would. Same with this one. Now, he says, I will be late. Past, he said he would be late. So going back to the original sentence, the first one, you told me you will come. It has to become, you told me you would come. Feels better, right? So why is this a problem? Honestly, because it's not that obvious unless someone points it out to you. Most grammar books do teach it eventually, but they call it things like backshifting or sequence of tenses in reported speech. And by the time you get to that part of the textbook, your brain's already half asleep, and I don't blame you. Plus, let's be real, this construction doesn't come up much in multiple choice grammar tests. It only becomes a problem when you're actually speaking, when you're having a real conversation, telling someone what someone else said and trying to sound fluent and natural. And this is the part I want to shout from the rooftops. If you don't speak, you don't automate. And if you don't automate, you don't use this grammar correctly. Even after, 10 years of studying. You can do 100 grammar exercises. You can pass every test. You can read about will and would until your eyes fall out. But if you don't say it out loud again and again in real conversations, your brain just won't grab it fast enough when it needs to. And you'll keep saying, I didn't know you will be there, or he told me he will come, or they promised they will help. And guess what? That one little error, just one word, can make your English sound less natural, less fluent, less confident. And that's frustrating because you do know the rule. You've seen it. I've told you. But knowing is not the same as using. So What can you do? Simple, but not easy. You need to speak more. You need to hear yourself saying these things. I didn't know she would be there. He said he would call. We thought it would be easier. They promised they would help us. Over and over, in conversation, in mini stories, in retelling what happened yesterday, you need to make this structure feel as natural as breathing. So when your brain wants to say will, your grammar filter goes, nope, we're in the past, friend. That's a would. There's a little grammar point. The past of will is one of those things that seems small. And in a way it is. One word, just one change. But getting it right instantly changes the feel of your English. It makes your story smoother. It makes your conversation more fluid. And the more you practice this in speaking, the more natural it will become. If you need solid speaking practice, join Voice Loop. Go to teacherola.com/voice and apply for your spot. I've got only 4 of them. Time to practice. Listen and repeat out loud. You told me you would come. You told me you would come. He said he wouldn't be able to join us. He said he wouldn't be able to join us. Did she say she would help you with the project? Did she say she would help you with the project? They promised they would explain everything. They promised they would explain everything. I didn't think it would take so long. I didn't think it would take so long. Did you know they would arrive early? Did you know they would arrive early? We thought it would be easier. We thought it would be easier. You said you wouldn't call me that late again. You said you wouldn't call me that late again. She told me she would meet us at the cafe. She told me she would meet us at the cafe. Why did he think it would be funny? Why did he think it would be funny? And hey, before we wrap up, you need to speak. You need to make mistakes, mess up, get feedback, and speak again. That's how fluency happens, by creating a loop, a voice loop. That's exactly what my 5-week program is all about. You join a group of 4, you speak every week for 50 minutes, I listen, give you feedback, and support you daily on a WhatsApp group where we exchange voice messages. It's speaking practice that sticks because you stay in the loop. Your first session is Monday, the 14th of July. Want in? Go to teacherola.com/voice and join the loop. And don't forget, there's a free worksheet waiting for you at teacherola.com/298. You'll find all the sentences from today's episode and space to practice them at your own pace. That's it for today. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. I believe in you. You've got this. So stay fearless, take care, and say it out loud. I'm your teacher, Teacher Ola, and you've been listening to Teacher Ola Podcast. Bye for now!